Hey guys.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
This is me, this is him. So I'm a founder of Emma. Emma is a multi-cloud management company. We do the cloud management of multiple clouds, which is obvious. And this is my friend Matthias. He runs the product in our company. We've been working for the different organizations for a couple of decades, and we actually know how the things work in the cloud. And today we wanted to talk to you about the cloud-agnostic approach. Everyone knows about the multi-cloud, and when we talk to our customers and the prospects, we quite often hear this multi-cloud thing. There's a lot of complexity. We don't want to be multi-cloud. It fell from the skies. We are there, but actually we don't like it, and we need to hire more high-skilled professionals, et cetera, et cetera. And there are a lot of problems. And we tell them, guys, actually you don't want to be multi-cloud. You want to be cloud agnostic. You want to leverage one provider against another. You want to use best of breed services. You want to get them interconnected and all these sort of things. So this is our short agenda. We start with the rise of multi-cloud, then we move to the cloud agnostic principles, then we talk a little bit about the concept of being cloud agnostic, how to get it started, how to start running the things agnostically, how to choose the providers, pick the best of breed services, how to make them interconnected, etc. And at the end, everyone knows that there are a lot of guys who advocate platform engineering, right? So it's all about the platforms. And we're building the platform as well, so it's obvious. But why the guys are building the platforms? Because they struggle to find the one that really works. And we want to explain to you that there are platforms on a marketplace that really fit the requirements, the expectations to become like really independent and cloud agnostic and get your freedom back. So let's kick it off. Next one, multi-cloud. Why people go multi-cloud? There are several scenarios, and again, they are quite obvious. You acquire the organization. You acquire the organization because of what? The infrastructure they use? I don't think so. Because of a business metrics, because of a different scenarios, because of a product, because of, I don't know, you have a lot of money, but definitely not because of their infrastructure. Another option, you have your quite expensive, super reliable environment somewhere at AWS. This is driven, so let's say AWS. But you also have your testing environment. And also there is a staging environment, and there's also a sandbox. And come on, do we really want to pay a lot of money to a great cloud service provider to handle this useless piece of infrastructure? No. So we go with the smaller guys, cheaper guys. Sometimes we pick the bare metal servers for these purposes. We run the VMs on top of open source software. And what? This is a multi-cloud. Reliability is the next big thing, right? So imagine you're building an application, and this application is so critical and so important that helps a lot of people in this world. And imagine this application measures the blood sugar, and imagine you're 100% dependent on a single cloud service provider, and imagine there's an outage. So literally someone can die because your application is enabled to measure the blood sugar and make a shot. So you want to avoid this. That's why you go multi-cloud. You use all of them to be 100% sure that your application is up and running. So this is why people, they go multi-cloud. And I don't really believe, personally, I don't really believe in situations where there is a CIO that comes into the company and says, we gotta do multi-cloud starting from tomorrow without any purpose, just because we read in a specific report that 85% by the end of 2024 of our organizations, they will be multi-cloud. So this is not the right strategy. We have a number of different customers, and sometimes these guys, they do not really understand that they have this multi-cloud problem. They usually tell us, okay, we are not multi-cloud yet, so yeah, there's another roadmap, maybe one day. And then we start talking, and the guys, they say, okay, yeah, we are 100% AWS. But you know, there is a region where AWS doesn't have a data center, and we use Azure. And there are a few factories, and we have a bare metal servers there, and we run VMware, and yeah, there's a private cloud as well. And then you ask them, okay, but isn't it a multi-cloud? And they say, yeah, maybe. But we can handle this. And you ask them, okay, how guys do you handle this? Oh, we have a lot of engineers. Okay, a lot of engineers. How many engineers? Oh, we have 16 engineers. So you have two public clouds, one private cloud. You have 16 engineers to manage these clouds. And do you use any tools? Oh yeah, by the way, we use tools. And how many of these tools do you use? Oh, yeah, I think around 25. 25, really? What are the tools? Oh, we have an observability tool, we have a networking tool, we have VMware, we have cloud cost management and optimization, we also have Kubernetes governance tool, and and they're disconnected. And there are a lot of gray areas where nobody takes the responsibility. And they tell them, but guys, why do you do this? Why not like build a platform or pick up the platform like ours and start doing the things the right way? Provision your environments in a single interface, interconnect the clouds, manage them properly, scale your workloads across the variety of available service providers, interconnect the managed services, leverage one service provider against another. And that, when they hear this, they're like, yeah, leveraging one cloud service provider against another. That's good. We are 100% AWS, we told you, but the other day we decided to spin up another center of excellence with Google, and we decided to hire more high-skilled professionals, because we cannot train these guys to work with the Google. We need more guys. They're like, okay, but why do you want to run this Google environment? Oh yeah, because because Amazon declines to give us a better discount. It's like, okay, so it's like an artificial competition. So you want to leverage Google, and then you want to get back to these Amazon guys and tell them, okay, if you do not reduce our bill, then we go to Google. They say, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. And then the next question appears, but how would you move your workloads from AWS to Google in this case? We don't know. That's why we want to hire these guys. And these guys will tell us how to move these workloads. Okay, and then the next question arises, but okay, guys, you hire the other guys, the high-skilled professionals, they're gonna tell you what to do, but how much time would you spend on that? When would you be able to move your workloads from AWS to Google completely in case AWS declines to reduce your cloud bill or increase your discounts? And they don't know. Nobody knows. So that's why we're saying that the underlying infrastructure should be a commodity. That's why we are saying that multi-cloud standards make infrastructure accessible without any limitations and dependencies. And this is important. This is what we advocate as the guys who are building the cloud management platform that helps enterprises and the other companies to stay absolutely independent and free. So, Matthias, would you like to pick it up about the cloud-agnostic approach?
All right.
Because I'm talking here and you're standing there.
I'll pick it up.
Here you go.
So, show of hands, who would say that they're using multiple clouds and going multi-cloud? All right, come on, pick it up. Okay, 3/4 roughly. But the question is how, right? How do you do this? And we're advocating for one way, and this is cloud-agnostic. So the cloud-agnostic is using vendor-neutral cloud-agnostic standards where it's applicable, right? To make the infrastructure universally accessible. And we're not advocating, and if you look at Emma, have a look, we're a proud AWS partner. We integrate very deeply into AWS. So we're not saying you should not use AWS services, but what we're saying is for certain types of the application, make them so that you're able to move them from one cloud provider to the other if needed, right? And,
but why? What for? Why is it needed? Who needs that? It's I'm always joking. Google has invented this Kubernetes thing, right?
Right.
And it's a great stuff, great product. And then every single cloud service provider took the Kubernetes and locked in their environments.
Exactly.
What is the purpose?
Well, if you have been following the keynotes, Amazon, AWS just announced hybrid nodes, so they're taking some of the directions. but we're trying to make it like from the get-go for everything. But before we talk about technology and go deeper there, here are a couple of principles that we see like you can apply today with any type of tools, and I just run through them, very briefly. So first off, I think if you're going for cloud agnostic, I think you should plan in an exit strategy. You're using a specific tool, and that's great. I'm an engineer. I love new tools, right? But think about it. What would it mean to decommission it? I'm not saying you will decommission it, but if you think about it, you start a little bit thinking about it a little bit more, right? So whatever you add to your stack, spend a minute of what it would mean to remove it, right? Plan for an exit strategy.
Do you remember these guys? We have a customer. When they reached out to us, they told us literally, so someone really smart has signed a commitment plan for the next 7 years with one of the cloud service providers. We cannot reach these numbers, so we literally wasting money on nothing. And we cannot get rid of it because there are like 3 more years to go. And we don't have any exit strategy. And we were like, okay, and where is the guy who signed the contract? He got fired 2 years after.
Right. So you should also document it, right?
Yeah.
Think about it and document it. The second one is unified visibility, right? So do your homework regarding observability, monitoring, make sure everything is in place, you have a common understanding. Third one is ensuring the performance, right? While it's just a computer, it's just a cloud, different data centers, different racks, different computers behave differently. So make sure that you ensure the performance and proactively test around it. We've seen one example where they were thinking moving from one cloud to the other was just seamless, but at the end of the day, they experienced some weird behavior. And with a performance test, that was easily discoverable, and we could easily figure that out, making small tweaks. And last but not least is practice it, right? If you don't practice it, you will not see the differences. So deploy around multiple clouds. So think about these 4 basic principles, basic practices, independent of the technology. Keep them in your head. And I think then you're starting to go down a more cloud agnostic approach. Now, it's really funny because we had that conversation. It's like, okay, that's all good and nice, but at the end of the day, as engineers, you talk about tools, you talk about technology, and I just love this presentation. Shout out to Nigel. Software eats culture for breakfast. So while we talk about principles, we need to talk about concrete technologies that you can start leveraging today to go down a cloud agnostic journey. And that's what I will briefly talk about now. So the first one on how to getting started generally, and it might be applicable one or the other. The first obvious one is Kubernetes. And Kubernetes is, for many, I do think it's applicable. There's always this, back and forth of whether it's too complicated. I think if you're investing into that strategy, you will have a lot of benefits. And whether you're using upstream Kubernetes or using EKS, it's a great way. It's a great way to get started. And then all the other tools, easily chime in. As I said, EKS just on Sunday announced their hybrid node concept with EKS. So you can expand the EKS cluster to your on-prem, to your edge, or to another cloud provider. We at Emma have a similar concept, but the point being is betting on Kubernetes is just getting you very, very far along. The second one, and that is around the unified visibility space. There's a project called OpenTelemetry. It's also out of the CNCF Foundation, and it standardizes the protocols all around monitoring. So we're talking here logs, metrics, traces, and they're all harmonized. And AWS actually publishes its own distro around OpenTelemetry, so it's really easy to get started. And again, you're having some notion of interconnectivity, independence, and making sure that the data that you produce is applicable and visible in different environments. Lastly, the important part is to make sure things are interconnected, right? So if you're going multi-cloud, if you're using cloud-agnostic way of doing things, you want to make sure that these things that are together, that they are connected. With Emma, we're spinning up our own multi-cloud network, right, to make sure everything is connected. You can do it by hand. It's some work, but that's the base ground you need to do to really go and connect these things.
I really like
together.
how you said this, like interconnected. Like, okay, it's going to be interconnected within a second. No, we've spent nearly 4 years building this multi-cloud networking backbone. No, it's not that easy.
I'm not. Well, it depends on the use case. Yes, we have invested a lot, and with us, it's really, really easy to do, right? The point I'm trying to make is like if you're going cloud agnostic,
yeah, sure.
You need to have something like a network.
Yeah.
And again, with EKS, they also provide this with Calico and Cilium, but there's a lot of setup things that you need to do. And we're doing this not only for AWS, for all the cloud providers, including your on-prem data center, to make sure everything is connected. But the point being is, make sure you have that in place. And the last one is think beyond infrastructure. We have started on the infrastructure space, and we have great success with that, with making sure that you have a cloud-agnostic way to launch VMs, spot instances all over the place, and then we've moved to Kubernetes, right, which is a great way for distributing compute. But sometimes, it's not the level of abstraction that you or our customers are thinking about. Maybe all they care about is a managed Postgres, a Postgres offering that is running on whatever cloud provider.
Right, come on, everyone cares about the applications they run. Nobody cares about the VMs, right? So you normally want your application to be up and running 24/7, accessible to your customers. You care about your customers, you care about your revenue, you care about your board, you care about the impact, right? But you do not care about a particular VM. And actually, that's similar to YouTube, right? So guys, nobody cares, and sometimes nobody knows how many service providers, CDN providers, I don't know, data centers, YouTube or Google leverages to deliver you the content. You simply sit down on your sofa, you turn on a TV, you get a picture, and you're happy, right? So this is what we're talking about.
That's what the founder, what the CEO says, right? But the technicians might be different, right? They say, well, I do care, but it depends, right? But the point being is here, use these standard services. Postgres, Valkey, which used to be Redis, and Kafka, use these either as a managed services or spin up somewhere else. We offer them multi-cloud, it's a great way to get started and to be agnostic. All right, so this is wrapping it up around getting started with Kubernetes, OpenTelemetry, connectivity, and standard backing service. And Dimitri, do we want to see on how we do this?
Or sign up into Emma and start using the platform. And I mean, this is your day one with a cloud agnostic approach, where you can not only provision your infrastructure, but also deploy your workloads, manage these workloads, observe these workloads, get the insights, reduce your cloud bills, and scale your applications beyond the boundaries of a cloud service providers. So basically, this is what our platform is all about. Yeah, so guys, it was really great having you here. There is a booth 1382 where you can find us in case you guys have any questions, because we are running out of time. Unfortunately, we cannot answer your questions right now, but we are over there and happy to meet you all. Thanks for your time. Yeah, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.